Pregame.com.
Vegas Runner here with Brian Leonard. Going to break down a game takes place on Super Bowl Sunday in the NBA. Don't lie, you'll be watching this game, or at least have action on it, you sick bastards out there. Breaking down.
What's that say about us? We're talking about it.
Exactly. We're sicker. We're even sicker.
Well, we already knew that.
Memphis at Boston. You got to play in this game. Tell me why I should be watching and betting this game.
Well, I don't care if you watch it or not. I won't be watching it likely. I got too many other things going on.
Super Bowl Sunday? I hear you.
Anyway, I'm going to
Value's value, my man.
Value's value. That's right. You can bet on a lot of things. I could bet on Madonna's hairstyle, as we found out.
As long as you cash.
From our podcast we did the other day, Gatorade. I mean,
the works.
All these exciting things that we wouldn't have known about.
If you find a winner, who cares who wins the Super Bowl?
That's right. I give Gil credit for coming up to things that brought silence to the rest of us. I'll tell you that. Anyway, let's get back to this game. This is an actual sport that you can bet on.
Grizzlies, Celtics.
Yeah, Grizzlies, Celtics. I'll take the Celtics here. This is the final game of a 3-game road trip for the Grizzlies. A bad spot, actually, for me, and this is going to be on national TV. There's a lot of games on national TV anymore, but it's still going to be a big game for these guys. But keep in mind, when you take a look at their schedule, they're playing an Eastern Conference team. They go back home the following day, Monday, they host San Antonio. The previous Monday, they lost a home game to San Antonio at home by 10. That was a big game for them. So they got quick revenge against a Western Conference rival, a team they've got to beat for the playoffs. And if you remember, Memphis was the team that knocked San Antonio out of the playoffs last year. So there's a lot of, for both teams, that's an important game. And you take a look at Memphis. As of this writing, or this taping, and we're doing this on Thursday. Thursday. And so far this year, all but one of their games on the road has stayed under the total. They're a team, when they get on the road, they like to slow the pace. It works out great for Boston because that's what they want to do.
Yeah, that's the last thing they want to do is run.
Yeah, I mean, Boston, overall 11 or 13 home games have stayed under the total, and they've held 19 straight teams to 97 points or less. So the offense for Boston has been picking up a little as of late, but that defense has just been tremendous as of late. I actually like this game to go under the total. And I kind of like Boston, too, if I can get it in my general line area because of the situation with Memphis. Memphis has the better athletes in this game, but Boston's playing a lot more competitive ball right now. This game means more to Boston than it does. Boston's in a position right now, they just need to make the playoffs. Memphis is in a situation right now, they got more important games on deck, and they've got some injuries when they get some of their players back. I think Memphis will be in pretty good position. But I like the under in this game. As long as we can get 178 or more, I'll be looking to play this one.
I think you may. I agree with you as well. I'm disappointed about the Celtics. As happy as I am that the Sixers are doing great and are 4.5 games ahead of Boston as we tape, this is not a team that should be 500. I get it. They're older, so the schedule this year is not going to benefit them. They came in from an off season where they did not look like they were in game shape. I get it. But statistically, they're one of the best teams in all of the NBA, except in one category, points scored. They can't score for some reason. They're 25th in the NBA. They've been picking it up like you said, but that's the reason this team's 11-10. If you look at them, they're number 2 in points allowed defensively, number 4 field goal percentage allowed, number 2 3-point field goal percentage allowed. Defensively, they're tough to score against. And even on the offensive end, they're number 1 in 3-point shooting percentage. They're number 6 in field goal percentage. But it just hasn't translated into points for some reason. I think eventually it does. I think they get it right. I think they get in game shape, and they have the pieces to be a very good team. I mean, sure, Rondo's not healthy. Ray Allen's older, Pierce is older, Garnett's older. But still, this is a talented basketball club. Looking at Memphis, I think Zach Randolph going down is too much for a team like this to overcome. To lose a guy who puts in 15 points and 7.5 rebounds a game is too much for Memphis to overcome. They just don't have the talent pool to do anything, to find someone to pick up that missing points, the missing rebounds. I mean, I like they're starting, group. I like Gasol. I like Rudy Gay. I like Tony Allen. I like Conley. But now you look at Zach Randolph going down, and who's taking over for him? Maurice Spates. I remember him from the Sixers. He was a bench player for Philadelphia. His best year, he put up 8 points. That's not going to get it done. I think until Zach Randolph comes back, and he's expected to come back sometime this month, Memphis will be lucky to be anywhere near 500. I like Boston in this spot. I hope we get it at a low number like you're projecting. If that's the case, I'm going to go square come Super Bowl Sunday, and I'll be looking to back Boston as well. Only thing that I'm worried about is this. Are the Boston players worried about getting home for their Super Bowl party, since it is New England playing? And will anyone even be in the seats since New England is playing? That's the only thing that worries me a little. I remember when the Super Bowl was up in Detroit, catching pieces of information about the Piston players partying, hardcore out there, and they didn't do too well around the Super Bowl ATS. Obviously, this is taking place in Indianapolis, not in New England, but still we have a team from Boston area who's in the Super Bowl. There's got to be excitement around that. That's the only thing that I have some pause about.
I've got to be totally honest with you. I never thought of that at all. I'm glad we did this video because that is something you have to keep in mind.
Just human nature,
yeah, it is human nature. And you talked earlier about Boston with the scoring. A lot of it has to do with the pace. They're not a running team. And because they've got 3 or 4 guys that basically take all their shots, when those guys are out, the guys behind them are defensive players.
Right.
That's why your defense is still good in those games.
But your offense struggles.
Suffers.
Good point.
So that's why now that everybody's starting to get a little bit healthier, I expect their offense to come by. But at this point, I'm still looking for the under here. I think that's the way to go in this one. And you made some great points about the Patriots game. So it's something to take a look at.
I agree. I like the under as well. Going to see what the number comes out on Boston. Before I bet Boston, I want to make sure there's at least 20 to 30 people in the stands to add that home court edge. Otherwise, I'm going to be forced to pass. Memphis playing their 5th game in 7 nights. Boston their 4th and 6th. Make sure you take a look at the schedule before betting any NBA game. We're going to be back with our Super Bowl prop selections. You don't want to miss these. It's one of the sharpest prop bettors in all of Las Vegas. And that's come from someone that's been here 15 years and knows a lot of bettors.